This is my. This is my.
So Shaun, I have your first challenge.
All right.
There you go.
I'm kind of nervous because I know what you've been planning.
Yes, sir. So, something you've been talking about lately is like your anxiety, your stress levels. Is something you've kind of been opening up more to the world about. How is that going? How are you feeling?
Well, I mean, for people who have followed my journey, I mean, I just took a mental health day, which I haven't done in a while. And, you and I talked a lot about how, like, why do I feel like if I'm not doing something, I'm lazy? And you were like, you're like the least laziest person I've ever met. But I think it's, I became a dad 1.5 years ago. I run a business. Obviously, we expanded the business. In addition to all of that, it's just like I'm growing, I'm getting older, being a man, turning 41, there are a lot of things that are changing in my body in terms of, while I feel really good internally because I do intermittent fasting and my digestive health feels fine, there's still things about my body in terms of like my muscles, things are changing, my face. And so, while I'm generally happy in my life, I feel like sometimes these things, it's just like weighs me down, and I don't have like the right resources to help me get through these things. And I mean like just the clarity of it, like I conquer my mind, I transform my life. I feel like I'm always conquering my mind, but sometimes like I feel like I'm constantly conquering my mind instead of actually like finding the right outlet. So I'm really excited about this challenge because I know you're out there searching for the things that help me get through these things. And to other men and women out there, I think for men, like we also feel weak when we feel weak, and we don't want to feel weak. We want to feel powerful and strong. It's just a part of who we are as a gender. And even if you think about like women power and female power, like nobody wants to feel weak. I just feel like, sometimes I'm like, am I lacking testosterone? Because I'm just like not feeling it. So I'm excited to go on this journey and have this new challenge because I definitely want to find ways to help with the anxiety and just kind of maneuver my way through like getting older and being stronger as I get older instead of like letting age make me feel weak.
Breathing is the only conscious means of improving our heart rate, blood pressure, a lot of like circulation, digestion. It's the only like all natural means that we have to actually control our neurochemistry, control our biology. So it's a really powerful tool if you use it the right way. The way that we're gonna breathe here, so it's 2 types of breathing. It's called tactical breathing and box breathing. It's important to have a straight back, so it doesn't matter if you're laying down or just sitting up, you just want to have a straight back, because what that's going to do is it's going to straighten out the lungs, and the ribs. And if we're bent over, obviously think about it, it's going to be harder to get oxygen in and out if we're bent over. Like if you have a hose and you turn it, same thing.
Right.
So the first thing we're going to do is like kind of what we did earlier, but just a deep breath into the nose. So just kind of. Okay, so we feel that, and what that does is it gets lower into the lungs as opposed to that shallow breathing. So the next thing we're going to do, it's like a 2-tiered breath. So it's going to be like this. It's going to be. So try that. Okay, cool. So that's belly, diaphragm. So our chest starts to lift when we do that. And now the final one is going to be belly, diaphragm, chest. So like our belly lifts, and the one we just did, belly lifts, diaphragm lifts. Now the chest is really going to lift. So you're going to feel like you don't have much room. You're going to kind of, so it'll be like. There you go. Yeah, it's weird. You feel like you don't have like any more breath, and you get a little bit more in there. But so that breathing is just important to know. Like if you're really trying to channel and pull oxygen into the body, it's a great way to do it. Now we're going to incorporate this into what's called box breathing. And box breathing is what Marines use in like a firefight, like when they're actually like in combat. Obviously, high level martial artists, boxers, high level. Keynote speakers use this before going out, because it's really the ultimate way to channel that parasympathetic nervous system and calm ourselves down.
Right.
And so what box breathing is, and there's a ton of science behind this stuff that we'll link to, but what box breathing is, essentially I want you to think of a box. So we're breathing in through the nose for a rough, this is all like a rough count, so a count of 4. We're gonna hold that breath in for a count of 4. We're gonna breathe out of the mouth semi-forcefully for a count of 5 to 6. And we're gonna hold at the bottom for a count of 4. So what that's gonna look like is it's gonna be roughly like this. It's gonna be so then you repeat. And so you can do this for 30 seconds in a day. This is how I breathe every time I meditate. So I do this pattern of breath because I'm flushing my body with oxygen, I'm channeling the parasympathetic nervous system, and it really adds another layer to meditation that I feel like a lot of people are missing when they're sitting there meditating. But this is absolutely not something you only do when you meditate. You know, like when I'm exercising, for instance, like when we film Transform 20, like I would be consistently trying to control my breathing and get it to a level where I could breathe in through my nose and then out through the mouth, because I knew I needed to flood my muscles with oxygen. So what I want to do is walk us through like just a little 3-minute, we'll call it a meditation. It's not really meditation, it's just 3 minutes of breathing, and we're just going to see how we feel afterwards. And I'm going to put on a little nice music, and anyone watching can follow along. And we're just going to notice, like, how are we feeling? How is do we have less brain fog? Do we have less anxiety? Do we have better control of our emotion? There's a million different things that this could really help us. So it's going to be really interesting to kind of see how this goes. And seriously, the first week we're just going to do 10 minutes a day, see how that goes. The second week we may crank it up to 15 or 20 just to see. But pretty simple. Like I said, everyone has access to the breath, so anyone can do this. This is a powerful tool that we all have at our disposal, and not many people do. Alright, so like we talked about, focus on the breath coming in through your nose and out through your mouth, holding at the top of the breath, and then holding at the bottom. So remember that box. Okay, 5 seconds. Okay, go. So we're getting started, just focusing on the breath, being present, focusing on that box, really thinking about how we feel right here, right now in this moment. Not worried about tomorrow, not concerned about the meeting that went bad yesterday, just focusing on our breath, in the right here and right now. The thought comes, don't judge it, just acknowledge that it's there, and then let it go. And we always have the breath. No matter what life throws at us, we always can live in the breath. So for the next 2 minutes, I'm going to let you go. Focus on the breath. Be here now. As the thought comes, let it go. Do a body scan, whatever you need to do to be present. And I'll talk to you soon.
So that was 3 minutes of breathing, channeling that parasympathetic nervous system.
Oh my God, that was so crazy. First of all, it happened. It went by way faster than I thought it would go. So the things that I thought about was, and I'm just being fully transparent. First, I'm like, I had to accept the fact that you were in here, because I was just like, okay, he's not judging me, which I think that a lot of people kind of go through that thing, like of people judging them.
Absolutely.
And, you know, so I was just like, okay, he's not judging me, whatever. And then I thought about the fact that I'm about to work out. So it kind of connected to that fight or flight thing you talked about. I'm like, shit, I'm about to do a silent like, this workout is so hard. And then I was just like, first of all, I was like, okay, you have to accept it. Like, I'm not going to judge myself. And then I was just like, I let it go. And then I started literally, the way I was breathing my seconds is I was actually really feeling my heart rate. I used my heart rate as my timer. And then asylum came back to thought. And then I was like, nope. And then I just really just kind of went back to my heart rate and just like really connecting to that. I also felt that holding the breath after the inhale is much easier than holding the breath after the exhale.
Certainly.
Because and that was really interesting, because I was just like, well, you just filled your body with new oxygen, so it feels good to hold it there. And then when you let it out, it was like, oh, it feels empty. And you know, and as I'm talking now, I'm like, oh, it kind of is similar to that empty feeling that I get when I'm just like so stressed or I'm like overwhelmed, and I'm just like, because a lot of times, you know, I say, you know, oh my God, I feel alone, but I'm like, I'm so not alone. Like, I have so many people in my life, but I just feel like that. So, but just holding the breath in that space of when you exhale, and when I related to feeling alone, I'm like, oh, like it's actually okay to be here and like live here for a moment. Like, it's a good thing. So you know, cool.
What's cool about that is you're talking about focusing on the heart rate, and if you think about it, you can't be more present than thinking about your heart, how it's beating. And we have so many external sources of information and just stimulation coming in and out. It's so important to just make our mind still. So for those 3 minutes, like, even though some thoughts came and went, we were really focused on being still and just being present. And what that does is it literally changes the structure in your brain. And so the more you do it, the more your brain's going to shift and change. It's called neuroplasticity. And it's just a really powerful tool. And you'll learn, like, the more you do it, that you'll carry that stillness with you throughout the day. And it's easy to tap into. So the better you get at it, you know, you get some bad news and your heart starts beating, thoughts go crazy, but you can find that stillness really quickly. So
for everyone out there, so I'm going to check back in with you guys in a couple of days. I'm going to let you do it tomorrow. I'm going to let you do it for 2 days on your own, and then I'm going to check back in on day number 4, since today is day number 1. And I'll be kind of documenting myself along the process. So make sure you breathe. I say it in my workouts, and now it has a brand new and enhanced meaning. So meaning, I'll see you in a couple of days. Ever since I've been playing tennis, like, I've been really focused, and I would get to a point where in the match, like, I would get either bored or I would get so frustrated that I would just like start like being over aggressive. And today I literally was like, I was up, like, I was feeling good. And a lot of times when I'm up and I'm feeling good, I get like really tense because you like have to close out the match. And today I went 4 counts in, I held it, I enjoyed the new oxygen, and I exhaled for 4, and then I got on the line to either serve or return. And I'm telling you, I know that's why I won my match today, because I just like went with the breath. Hey, what's up, everybody? I've been doing box breathing for a while now, and I must say it's something you must try. The thing is, it's very easy to commit to because you can do it anywhere. I actually was traveling pretty much the entire time that I was going through the inception of the process. I have anxiety on the airplane, and a lot of people think like, how would you have anxiety on the airplane? You're on the airplane all the time, but I just do. And there were times where I was on an airplane and I was experiencing turbulence, and I just did some box breathing. One of the main things that helped me out with box breathing is going to sleep. Literally, my brain is that kind of brain that races and races. I'm a very creative person. So when I go to bed and when I wake up, my brain is on fire. It's okay for my brain to be on fire when I wake up. But when I go to bed, it's really, really tough for me to turn it off. But and one day I'm going to show you my going to bed routine, but box breathing literally helped me fall asleep in seconds, whereas before, it would take forever. I would need a podcast, I would need that. And even though I still like falling asleep with sound, it just really helped relax. It relaxed my body, relaxed my mind, and in turn, it really helped me kind of just settle into bed. Shaun T's Playbook is about finding ways for you to enhance your life, enhance your health, prolong your life with fitness and beyond. So some of the things you might be like, why are we doing that? But let me just tell you. The reason why I'm trying these things is because whether it works for me or whether it doesn't, it's worked for someone, and I know it can work for you. So keep following along. Next up is going to be something amazing, and I hope you try it. And as I always say, trust and believe in who you are.
This is my. This is my.